press record. This is going to be epic. All right, Joseph, mate, thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name's Mael, and this is Joseph Dorph. Jose.
Hey, how's it going?
So we are here this evening because we are going to run through a little bit of a course preview for the brand new Bright Ultra 100K, which is part of the Buffalo Stampede Festival, taking place between April 1st and 3rd, 2022. And Joseph and I were lucky enough to be a part of the festival this year, having a little run. Joseph, the 75-kilometer champion. How was that, mate?
Oh, it was well shared with you, the second place getter.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well, we shared half of the race anyway, but I definitely felt your presence the whole way.
Excellent.
That's for sure.
Yeah, my presence with me pushing your back all the way, mate. So anyway, look, tonight is not about our amazingness that we got to experience this year, but
it's a big beer, mate.
We are also here at the Bright Brewery,
yes.
and we'd like to say thanks to the Bright Brewery for hosting us tonight. They are a sponsor of the Buffalo Stampede Festival. They've allowed us to come and sit in these. The trick is you come into a brewery and you go into the secret hiding spot, and they actually brew beer in wine barrels. That's the trick, okay? So yeah. That's why we've got wine barrels behind us, because it's actually beer in there. And we just want to say a big shout out to the Bright Brewery. Thanks a lot for having us here tonight. Now, we've got this little thing that we want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, and it is called the Bright Ultra 100-kilometer event. Now, as you can see here, we're going to go through a bit of a course overview tonight of this very amazing, beautiful new course. I hope you can see that, and if you can't, well, that's going to be a real bugger, because the whole thing's going to fall to pieces. But
can we see comments or something? Can we get someone to tell us if it's working?
Yeah, we've got someone working on it. We've got someone working on it. They're going to send them through to us. But what is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is this is an overview map of the incredible new Bright Ultra 100K. A course that you, Joe, have spent a bit of time putting together, mate. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you came to decide that this would be a sweet event to take place?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Well, how did it start? I guess I was talking to Presto maybe probably 2 years ago, maybe, when they first acquired the race, and we were talking about how we might want to change up the courses at some stage. I think they felt as though everyone who wanted to come do that 75K Ultra probably has done that 75K Ultra. And it was probably a good time to refresh the course a bit and offer something new. So I started thinking, and I think a few people started thinking, and I think 100K distance is obviously one of the major ultra, I guess, milestones for a lot of runners. And the best way, I think, to add a bit of distance around here is to run a bit more of Mount Buffalo itself. You know, it's called the Buffalo Stampede, so it seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, they call it. I was out running with you, and you're like, it's the island in the sky, and I never really thought of it like that, but it's once you get up there, it's epic. Epic.
Stays high. You're pretty much always running above 1400 or so up there, so pretty hard. Like every run I've done up on Mount Buffalo is harder than it should be. And I think we were talking when we were running up there the other day, I think I only just realized the other day why, because I think the altitude generally has an effect on you. Like it's not a crazy high mountain, but like running at 1400 up to 1700 is hard enough, and definitely does take it out of you. So especially being in the middle of this 100K, that long, that sort of probably 30K stretch up on the plateau.
Yeah,
that'll be real hard for sure, I think. Yeah. But back to the inspiration. Obviously, you want to go, in my mind, I know a couple other people who live around here, like Mick Dongers and stuff, we thought, well, you want to run from the center of town to the highest point on Mount Buffalo, you know. That's just something that the Buffalo Ultra should do.
100%, mate. 100%.
So that was the goal, was to go from the center of town all the way up to the hump, which is 1723 meters.
The Horn, mate. It's called the Horn.
It's called the Horn.
It's called the Horn.
The high point of Mount Buffalo, the Horn.
It's called the Horn.
Very iconic sort of landmark in the landscape, that's for sure. You can see it from a fair few places, and it's quite beautiful. So yeah, that was the idea, was to run from town to the Horn and back. And rather than do an out and back like the original course, I think I especially wanted to include some more trails. I think in course design, the idea is to include as many beautiful places and beautiful trails as you can. And yeah, getting out there a different way and coming back a different way was definitely something I wanted to do. So that's what we did.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, like, so you can see here, we obviously you start in Bright. It's the start and the finish of the 100K. Yet it's the actual course is made of quite a couple of sections of out and back, but also a number of loops to really take into consideration a few of the other pretty sweet trails that are around Bright, because Bright is just an absolute mecca for trails and trail running, which is just which is so sweet. People should check out your Strava, give Joe a follow, because it's one incredible sight to see. Actually, Joe was showing me his heat maps on Strava, and it's
yeah.
I think you've run like every trail in town, so you must know a few things about it, mate.
It's pretty heated, yeah.
So you run from Bright and you run all the way up to 1723 meters to the Horn and back again. We'll go through a bit of a 3D look of the map in just a moment. So the race next year, April 2nd on Saturday, is available to solo runners. It's available to teams of 2, relay teams of 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people. And the different ways that you can run it as a team of 2, 3, or 4 people is all explained on the website. And we won't go into detail on that tonight, because that will definitely get a little bit complicated. And obviously Joe's have a couple of beers and it's going to get a bit messy. But, you know, this 100K has got just on 5,000 meters of elevation.
Just over, yeah.
Just over. And so, you know, if it's something that you'd love to experience with other people in a team, there's a really sweet way that the course can get divided up into really nice, I guess, even sections in terms of the experience and in terms of the trails that you run. Technicality, the hardness of it. So head to the website, there's a link just down there, and you can also see the map and so much more of the info that we're going to be sharing tonight will all be available there. But what we can do is have a quick look now. Let's have a little look at, these are the aid stations that will be available in the course. So to get a bit of an understanding of how far you'll need to travel before you can get an aid station, this is clearly available here, but also, so if you want to take a screenshot, go for it. But if you also head to the website, this is now on there as well. So like, Joe, if you looked at this and you kind of break the race down via aid stations, it's pretty sweet. Like there's a lot of aid on the course. Yeah. And like, what would your thoughts be about that kind of assistance, and how would you use these to your best advantage?
Yeah, there's, well, as you can see, there's 10K between each aid station at the maximum. And I think, you know, the idea with the Buffalo Stampede is, I think you can really attack the courses if you want to. I mean, I know a lot of people will, you know, just want to finish it, and probably most people probably just go to finish it. But yeah, I think they've designed the courses so you can race them to your, you know, fastest ability. You know, the mandatory gear is not like excessively long. You can travel reasonably light. There's lots of aid along the course. So I think you can really run this race, and that's pretty exciting for me. The cutoffs are probably, if you compare it to some other races, they're a little bit faster, a little bit harder to reach than some, but at the same time, I think it's pretty generous. 24 hours for 100K. It's a nice amount of time to get a race done, and that's just gonna push people to get it done. And I think you can really earn the title of a finisher if you can get it done in 24 hours. So 100K in 24 hours should be a goal for most people, So I think it's definitely fair enough. But yeah, the aid stations are very well spaced and plenty of help along the way, which is nice.
So and obviously you got cutoff times there. So if someone needs to leave the aid station before that time is up, or else they'll have to be stopped during the race. But as a reference, you've got that there as a guide to understand what time you would need to get to an aid station, but also leave that aid station. So you've got to get out of there before it happens. So that's available on the website. Check that out. Obviously, a lot of those aid stations you hit twice. You can see that you go to Euroban twice, the Chalet twice, the Hump twice, Buckland Valley, and Clearspot. And then there's just one at Mystic at the very end. But that also allows your crew, if you've got crew, to get to those spots and help you a number of times and know where those aid stations are. So there's only, in total, there's only actually 6 aid stations, but 5 of them are the same time and time again. So that just helps your crew and you understand what it's all about on race day. And aid stations are going to be stocked with pretty much the standard, like food, water, maybe some Bright Brewery beer, probably not, electrolytes, gels, all that kind of stuff. There's going to probably be there will definitely be that information released beforehand, so you get an understanding. Joe loves to eat smoothies when he runs. They're not going to be there. So
bring your own smoothies.
Bring your own smoothies. Yeah, but get an understanding of this. This is critical to your race day success. And we'll slightly move on now because we can have a look at this
Look at that.
Sweet course profile. Can you see sweet?
No, I'm not good at that.
All right, sweet. So this is a course profile, Joe, and I have a look at this, right, and I'm like, sweet, this is rad. And I can see, I want to point out firstly, I can see the island in the sky between 30 kilometers, the 30 kilometer mark, and the, say, like 65K mark. That is the island up there when you're running up high.
Above Mackey's.
That's all on Mount Buffalo. Good times.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this course and I'm like, there are some serious uphills, there's some serious downhills, and there's also some sweet looking kind of flatter sections.
Yeah, a bit more, we wanted to add in some more runnable stretches. I think that's important in 100K.
Yeah.
I think, you just don't want it to be continuously brutal. You want it to be achievable. And for me, it's not just about making the hardest possible course you can. It's about going to the most beautiful places along the most beautiful trails. And this definitely showcases like the best of the area, best trails of the area. And they're not always the steepest trails. There's beautiful, like, runnable stretches in this race that would probably be most people's favorite sort of stretches, I reckon, especially that road out to the Horn. Like, it's technically a road, but I reckon a lot of people will remember it as one of the best sort of stretches of the race, even though it is a dirt road. But,
scenic, man.
Yeah.
Scenic.
Yeah, there's no boring sort of bits of this course. It's pretty jam-packed.
There will definitely be some flow state running out there.
Yeah.
When you're on that section of dirt road to the Horn, there'll be some flow state running.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh,
We can't confirm that guarantee, but it's guaranteed. So anyway, what we're going to do, Joseph, is we're going to, I'm just going to stop sharing this screen for just a moment, because what I want to do is I want to move on to another screen. Joe doesn't like seeing himself right now. He's not stoked because we're on the opposite side and the camera flips it. So anyway, He'll survive.
I'll just look away.
He will survive. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to pull up a little bit of a Google Earth thing here. You're going to have to bear with me for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. One moment.
It's going to be worth it, though.
It's going to be worth it. Right. Here we go. Right. Now we've got it happening here. There we go. Bang. Here is another bit of looking at this epic course. Okay. Now, the thing with this, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is what, let me just hide this bar. How's about that? Let's get rid of this. Things that Joe and I have been downloading off the free Wi-Fi at the Bright Brewery. Come to the Bright Brewery for free Wi-Fi and good pizza. Now, Joseph, this is the 100K course. Video, I guess. And we're going to do a little flyover here. You can see, obviously, you've got the horn down right at the bottom right there now. We're swinging around. And this gives you a good lay of the land. You can get access to this on the Buffalo Stampede website as well. There's an interactive map that you can check out. What we're going to do is just in one moment, we're going to go over this and get a little bit more insight into what's going on here. So, Joseph, if we rock on over here, sorry, just going to switch maps for a moment, guys. If we go over here, and this is Bright's map, all right? This is where it's all at, mate. This is where it's all at. And we're going to just move around a bit. I can't do that right now.
You gotta do the option, don't you?
Whoa.
Did you switch maps? Did you?
Yeah, just switch maps. Okay, cool. So, Joseph. We're going to go over here. So if we're starting in Bright, and see our little cursor pops up here. We're starting in Bright. We've got a small uphill that goes out of Bright. And I'm going to let you take over and explain this course as we go through it, mate. Let us know what we need to look out for. Let us know where we are.
No worries.
Let's hit it up. So we started in Bright, 100K, starts off 6 a.m. We're pumped, running out of town. Where are we going?
Yeah, so the idea was to maybe the old course sort of ran out along the river through the caravan park. I think we thought it would be a cool idea to maybe take it out through town a bit more. So we're going to run, instead of going flat along the river, we're actually heading straight out of town to a trail that heads up to Huggins Lookout. This is one of like the few sort of classic little pieces of single track in town. If we sort of zoom in, maybe even on it.
That's Huggins Lookout right there.
Yeah, that's Huggins Lookout there. So there's just one of those nice little pieces of single track going out of town. One of the sort of touristy day walks, I guess, that some people do. Lovely little climb, and it was just a different way out of town that is more direct into the mountains, and means that you're not coming back along the same way that you kind of come back into town.
So, and then we do a little climb out to Huggins Lookout, and then we hit this massive climb, like the biggest first climb of the day, up to Clearspot. What's that all about? Yeah,
it crosses the valley, Baker's Gully, over to Valley View, which is another piece of the little single track. I could almost take it.
You do this, bro. I
could take it.
You drive.
I'm gonna do a better job than you. So anyway, here's the we crossed the Baker's Gully through here, and up Valley View. So the single track here, it's like Huggins, another classic piece of single track that I always thought should be in a race, and I think a few other people around here probably think that too. Lovely little climb up here, and it links you up to a real steep, rough climb up here, which takes you up to Clearspot.
First aid station, 8.4 kilometers.
So it's not an easy start to 100K. I think you do about 1,000 meters of climbing to Clearspot in the first 8K. So pretty rough. It's a harder start than the old course, but it's probably more of a direct way up to Clearspot from town, and it gives you a different perspective of town from that climb. And two really nice pieces of single track along the way.
Solid.
And then once you've passed Clearspot, anyone who's done the ultra course would probably know most of the course up to the chalet from here. So you head down Dingo Ridge, which I guess most people know as the never-ending climb at the end of the marathon and at the end of the ultra. I think you probably remember it
And that
as
climb,
the never-ending climb.
I still feel like I'm on that climb. Like it hasn't finished.
It goes for like
So long.
it just goes for longer than you think. It's like 6K of climbing.
But you're running this downhill now on the way out.
So now this is a downhill, quite a good downhill to run, and it gets very steep towards the end, just around here.
Yeah.
And then you cross the Buckland Valley. This is first time I did the ultra. I don't think I was like, what's this road in the race? Like, why am I running asphalt right now in an ultra? But I actually live right where the cursor is right now. Like literally right where the cursor is, I live. And I have run that road a fair few times now, and I've come to love it. And in the ultra, I think it's good. You get a aid station now, just here in the Buckland Valley, breaks it up.
15.5 kilometers aid station.
Breaks up that stretch, and it's a good time to throw down some sub 5 minute Ks, which is pretty rare in this race.
Perfect time.
And it's actually only 3K long, that road stretch. Feels longer than that. It's only 3K, so it's actually gets over before you even know it.
And you got a punchy little climb here up Keating's Ridge, right?
It's a hard climb because it's more runnable than all the other climbs, and so you feel like you should be running. But I guarantee most of you will probably walk the whole way up it. It's a frustrating one.
But what would you recommend? Do you recommend people should like be maxing it out on this road and maxing it out on this climb, or it's like 20K deep? 20K deep into a 20K deep.
No, you're always floating in 100K. You never pushing too hard. It's just a good place to float some flat Ks through the valley and get them done reasonably quick. And then this climb depends what your goals are. If you're running to finish it 20 hours, 24 hours, you probably walk a lot of that climb. You and me might be racing this race next year. I will definitely be. And I will run that whole climb. So it just depends what level of running you're at, I guess. But it's a hard one because it's more, you feel like you should be running, and you might be running, but you don't want to be running because
it is pretty short though too, right?
Gradient, about 350 meters climb.
Yeah.
So which is a small climb on this course.
Yeah.
And then you head down to Eurogan. That's the next aid station.
Next aid station.
You seem to be nailing the distances.
Yeah, and I'm nailing the distances.
How far is that one?
Got a little bit of help here from
a
little bit of cheat sheet here. 24K. 24K aid station.
It is the start of the biggest climb and a very well named trail, the Big Walk.
The Big Walk.
The biggest climb on the course, an absolute highlight of the area. I think the Big Walk. I would probably say it's probably the number one walking track in the whole area, 100%. If I thought of a trail that I wanted to go run up, or told someone to go run up, it'd probably be the Big Walk. So awesome climb, takes you from the valley through the trees, starts quite punchy and kind of progresses up to Mackey's Lookout, which is where the real rocky and sort of more exposed section begins. Very technical. And this climb, it kind of like changes as you go up. That you'll be running bits of it. It's not 1,000 meters of climbing with just full on hiking the whole way. Like there's some rolling sections and a bit of everything. You'll probably stop more to take photos than you will stop because you're tired, I reckon. So beautiful spot on the course, and it takes you all the way up to the chalet. And it's 10K from Eurogan to the chalet.
Yeah.
It's not too long, but it's probably technically the hardest section of the course, just in terms of how long it'll take you, I think.
But then you got an aid station at the very bottom at 24K, and then 10K later at 34.4K. you've got another aid station. So you've got like a period of time there where you're solo, but your crew are there. How has Blake ever broken an hour running up this thing?
Nah, he's not done it actually.
Blake, come on.
He's often talked about going sub-hour. I reckon he hasn't told anyone, but I silently think he's training for a sub-hour big walk in the Four Peaks race this year.
You've heard it here first, folks. You've heard it here first.
You know, no one's ever going to come close to that legendary 54-minute Paul Craig time.
We've heard a lot about it.
But yeah, look, it's just a famous trail. Lots of people have done it. Lots of people have got good times on it.
So once we get there, we're finished the big walk, and then we're on the island in the sky. We've got this 30K now on top of Mount Buffalo.
So how do I move this map
yeah, so there we go, mate.
It's so good at this sort of stuff.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
The small bucks for it.
So let's just go in a bit. Let's go into the island in the sky.
So this is running on the plateau of Mount Buffalo.
Yeah. So this is the whole sort of major plateau. Yeah. So the idea was to get out to the Horn and obviously take the most interesting, most beautiful route possible. This is the old course here through the gorge section. Most of you who've done that will know it. It's sort of a steep downhill, steep climb out of this little gorge, just here, with some stairs. And then once you get to the old course, used to do the galleries, which is right there. There's a little loop just to the south of that. We've taken that out.
No more galleries.
No more galleries. And I reckon,
did you hear that?
I reckon a few people will be pretty happy about that.
I'm so stoked. I'm a taller person.
No more cramping
and
race.
So glad. I think because you and I are quite tall, Joe, you probably took it out because we've experienced the real toughness of that thing.
If anyone else was behind me, I would be concerned that they would have caught me in that section.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? He'll probably go just as long as I did.
I hit my head about 9 times. Anyway, we're taking it out.
Taking it out. Sorry, all the short people who love like, what's it called? Bouldering? Or no?
Bouldering, climbing,
canyoning, that sort of stuff.
Kayaking.
Anyway, you go around Lake Tani, beautiful lake. There'll be plenty of people camping there, cheering you on. And then you take a trail called the Long Plain Track, which is just a really beautiful, straight, single track, very flat, very runnable, and you'll enjoy that stretch. Takes you up to the climb, up to the hump, which is where the cursor is now. That's a pretty rough climb. Like it's harder than you expect, I think. Just, it kind of is quite steep and not the most well-formed trail in the race. And kind of brings you up to the hump car park, which is right there. You get these amazing views of the cathedral just about here, and Maj actually put it into the promo video if you watch the promo video.
Oh, it's there.
Some awesome views of the cathedral, which is just to the south of the cursor there. And then you run a little stretch of the road up to the hump car park, which is an aid station, of course.
Aid station, 42K. Aid station, 42K aid station.
So this would be a great spot for the crew to come and even do a day walk for themselves, because walking up to the hump is just an amazing perspective on the landscape. Something worthwhile doing, especially while your runner has to run all the way out to the Horn and back. You're definitely going to have the time, trust me, to walk up to the hump. And I think you can manage that as a crew member if your runner has to run 100K.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have an aid station at the hump at 42K, and then their runner will run 10K
back, out and back to the hump,
and then they get back to the hump for another aid station.
Yeah,
and then that way they
have a bit of time to they don't have to move. They can just stay. That's the one aid station they don't have to move for the crew. They can just stay there and enjoy the view, which is pretty cool.
Happy days.
So we head out to the Horn from there. There's a little road stretch, and then it just goes, it's going to head down a little old retired sort of ski field. If anybody used to come up to Mount Buffalo, I don't know, what, 20 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I don't think I was born then. No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be me.
They might have gone up to Cresta Valley and used the old ski lifts. We'll run down the old ski slopes, like a European style feel to that section of the course.
Lovely.
Down the old ski slopes to Cresta Valley, and then you start that awesome stretch of road. This is a dirt road here out to the Horn, and it's one of my favorite dirt roads you could ever run, I reckon. Beautiful switchbacks, quite steep towards the top. You wouldn't be running this in what, 40 something K into a race. This is pretty hard, close to the top. And you're also getting up to 1,700 meters here, so it's where the effort starts to climb a bit, I think, for sure.
And you can feel that altitude, eh? Like, we were running up there a little while ago, and we were talking. Like, it's enough to feel it. Like, if you're not at altitude a lot, running that last section there is like you can definitely feel a bit of the oxygen load on your system there. But and
then you finally get there. Finally at the high point. Not quite halfway in terms of distance, but it's the high point of the race and the best view of the race, undoubtedly. There will be some sort of little medallion, like not medallion, but
little
what's it? Idol, little idol, let's call it.
Little idol, cool.
On top of the hump for you to signify you've been there, but also a bit of a memorabilia thing.
Maybe take a page out of a book, or
it's along those lines. We can't give away too much.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, there'll be some sort of idol to take home with you from the Horn. You've achieved at least a pretty hard 40-something K up to the high point of Mount Buffalo, and now you can enjoy a bit of downhill. All the way back to the hump along the same way.
Aid station 52K.
52K into the race. And it's, as I said, the aid stations aren't too far away, so I wouldn't say that there is any one aid station that is critical to stop and really like recoup that kind of thing, because there is good aid along the way, and I think you can do it at any of them. If you're going to have dinner or have a proper stop, you've got plenty of good options along the way. In 100K, I think a lot of people, you will probably have to plan out where you're going to be around dinner, 8 p.m. sort of thing, and figure out where you can kind of like reset a bit. I think that would be a good idea in a 24-hour run from my own experience. So there's plenty of opportunities, and the hump is an awesome aid station.
So just back to the Horn for a sec there, Joe. I remember we were on top of the Horn a little while ago, and we could actually see over to the Mount Kosciuszko main range.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a clear day.
360 degrees of the Australian Alps.
Man. It's
so
unreal.
good.
Yeah, you got 360 unobstructed views because it's the highest point around, probably to Bogong in one direction and Mount Buller in the other direction. So it's pretty good. Yeah, we saw Cosy, and it's a long way to Cosy.
Yeah,
and you can see it pretty clear, and it was pretty cool. Awesome viewpoint. You'll probably want to stop there and just appreciate the beauty of it.
For sure. And then we're on the. Would you say it's a home straight or not?
From
really?
the hump, I'd say there probably isn't a home straight until you get to the finish chute, mate.
All right, fair enough.
This race is hard all the way to the end.
Fair enough.
So we take a different route back through the plateau, past Mount Dunn. So these trails here are a bit technical, would you say? They'll challenge a tired runner, I think, but They're not necessarily big climbs. They're not super up and down, but they are technical. And if it was a wet day or something, it'd be hard. But they're a different sort of terrain, and it's classic Mount Buffalo trail. This section, like most of the trails up on Mount Buffalo, are quite technical, just because of the rocky nature of the ground. And I don't know why.
Well, like and it's untouched. Like in this section here, is just it's beautiful, kind of
more
raw
remote.
nature.
Yeah, like I'd say this is probably maybe the most remote sort of section of the course through Mount Dunn. You probably, you feel a bit more like you're really out there.
Yeah,
out there, I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah, nice little trail through there to the reservoir, which is this little pond here. And that's the start of quite a nice section of running. It's a gradual, very slight downhill along the reservoir road. So it's like a dirt road, but it doesn't feel like a road.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a road. I appreciate running that one. It's easy Ks, I think, for that stage in the race, and that's something that I think will be well appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And then the climb up past the monolith. These trails are again very Mount Buffalo sort of trails. It's like little climbs, little pinches, little downhills, switchbacks, very thin trail, technical.
Beautiful,
but challenging but beautiful.
Yeah, 100%.
Back to the chalet, back to one of the main sort of aid stations.
Yeah, so that's aid station at 62 kilometers. So you can see if your crew drove up from Euroban Creek, they drive to the chalet, they drive out to the hump, they can chill at the hump, and then they drive back to the chalet, back to Euroban Creek. So like it's a pretty sweet race to crew if you also like picnics.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Take lots of yummy food, I reckon.
Smoothies, good stuff.
I mean, they don't need to be eating smoothies if they're crew. They need to be on the cheese and.
Okay.
I mean, maybe cashew cheese.
Oh yeah, I mean whatever
kind of cheese
floats your boat. Maybe a Burgerville burger.
Yeah, 100%. They stay hot for so long.
Maybe.
Put something in those things, dude. What are you doing? Oh, sorry. You go back.
All right, we've kind of I don't know what you've done. Oh,
you probably just need to click a different tab.
Jozo. Oh man, oh no.
I reckon it's this one.
Oh geez.
The one below that.
No, this one here. Oh geez. Oh no. Jeez. Here we go. Okay, winning. All right, so we're back. Technical difficulties, sorry. We're back at the chalet.
Surprised because this is well rehearsed as well.
This was well rehearsed. Joe, we're at the chalet. We've finished our epic voyage along the big plateau of Mount Buffalo. We have blown mines.
And now we've got a good reward of 10K
downhill. The big walk downhill. That's because you were talking it up on the way up. But what about the way down? Does it get better? Or?
Look, I think everyone will agree it's a bit technical through the rocky exposed sections. Sort of right here, like Mackey's, just before Mackey's Lookout. But I mean, you just like cruise. You walk down those bits and you enjoy it. It's not uphill. It's good moving still. And then there are some really great runnable stretches on the way down, which will be pretty fun for a tired runner. It's not too steep, like that's what's good about this downhill. Like even on tired legs, you can kind of plod along and it's not going to take too much out of you. And then you arrive back at Euroban picnic area after a nice little. If you go too hard down there, though, that could change a game. That could really ruin your race. I know. Actually, there's a bit of a famous race. I think it was Matt Murphy, Ash Hoffman, ran down the big walk at the start of the marathon one year, and they absolutely pelted down there. They got I mean, if you look at the fastest time down the big walk, they're a fair way ahead. And they threw it down pretty hard, very competitive. I think they were just racing to get to the bottom as fast as they could. Anyway, they absolutely blew up. They almost didn't finish the marathon, and they didn't place very well in the end. So that's a good lesson for everyone to learn. Like the big walk is 10K all down. So if you push too hard, and I think this is probably more for the runners at the front of the pack, because the back of, the people who are finishing in 20 hours, they're probably not going to push too hard down the big walk.
No, they're smarter.
They're much smarter, way smarter. But the people who are trying to catch someone, if you're racing a place, or you think maybe it's a good point in the race to get ahead, if you go too hard down there, it is an hour of smashing the legs, and you can really pay for that for sure. And I deliberately didn't run down there fast in the race this year, actually. And I don't know if I've told you that, but I was kind of cruising down the big walk, thinking, I reckon I'll save my legs here and push a bit later on. So that was probably a smart idea. I think you did take some time on me there. You almost caught me from reports, but I think it's probably a safe idea to enjoy the downhill and not you're gonna hate the uphill. It's gonna be real hard. Why hate the whole course?
No,
if you're pushing on the downhill,
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We're smarter than that.
Yeah,
we're definitely smarter. And so Euroban Creek, you get an aid station at 72 kilometers. And then the other thing too, you've got 30 kilometers to get back home.
I mean, very hard 30K. Really hard.
Solid 30K.
Maybe the hardest. Once you get over the Buckland, the last 19K is super hard. I ran it the other day, and there's about 1350 climb.
1,315 meters.
1,350 meters in the last 19.5K or something.
Solid.
That's hard. So you can't really blow your legs up. You have to save yourself.
Save yourself. So if that brings us, so we're over in Euroban Creek.
Yeah.
And then that's going to bring us back to this fancy looking figure eight in a way, isn't it?
It isn't a figure of eight in the way you run it. Yeah.
So we're popping out here at Euroban Creek. We go
Keatings.
Back over Keatings.
350 climb.
350 climb, little punch.
Yeah, pretty hard climb. Definitely not one, as I said, to push yourself on. Try and conserve Keatings. Hard for if you're racing up there, somebody else, that'll be a hard climb, I think, Keatings, but yeah, it's a good point just to go into your own race, I think, and save your legs. Because after the Buckland Valley aid station, which is just here, it's going to be super hard the rest of the course from there, really, really rough, and you got to have good legs. So I recommend Keatings Ridge. Yeah, just take it easy. Just get over it, down the other side. Really easy 3K run down to the Buckland Valley aid station, about 5K from the top to the aid station, and just take that as 3Ks, 5Ks, easy pace, cruise down.
Got a bit of road in there,
and then you can stock up at the aid station. Sure.
And that one's just on that 81K.
Yeah.
So another 9K, and you've got an 81K aid station.
Yeah. So 20K to go basically.
Yeah.
And this is the climb. So this climb takes in the other side of I call it the Buckland Bowl. It's probably not officially called that, but it's because I live.
It is now.
Just near it. So this section here, if you think of this valley as like an oval or whatever, I think of it as a bowl. We basically go down Dinga Ridge at the start on one side, and then we go up this other ridge line. It's on the other side of the valley on the way up. And this climb is a bit punchy. There are some small downhills and some very steep uphills. You stay on the high point the whole time. So you go up, and then you go down a bit, and then you go up a bit, and it's a bit relentless, I think, with some steep pitches. But I was thinking there'll be a fair few people who get to sort of this section of the course in the dark, but you'll get some the sort of, I guess, faster runners will get, if you can get here at nightfall or just before, some awesome views back to Mount Buffalo. especially where I am right now on Wallaby Hill. If you can get there for sunset,
Perfect. You've timed it like
whoever gets there for sunset needs to take a photo. That's got to be a rule. Actually.
The rules. They're the race rules.
We're gonna put that into the rules.
Race rules.
They need to stop, take a photo because that's a pretty awesome spot.
And I guess there as well, Joe. That's like around about 87K, and then you start to see Bright again. You're like, Bright is in sight.
Just there, you get a really awesome view of the town. So Wallaby Hill is like my go-to picnic spot.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah, me and my fiance Vic, we go there quite a few times. Have a nice picnic. That's take dinner up there.
Beautiful.
And in our new RAV4.
Yeah, lovely.
Good to have a new, what a feeling, Toyota. And
sponsored by Toyota.
We're trying to get a Toyota sponsorship.
All right.
How good would that be?
Yeah. If there's anyone from Toyota listening, we'd love a Toyota. Thank you.
Anyway, so you get a good view of town from here and a really good view of Mount Buffalo. So it's one of the better views of the course. Probably, I'm going to say the second best view of the course.
Okay, rock and roll.
After the Horn. Really cool little spot. And then you can see what you have to do really well, which is climb up to Clearspot along Snake Ridge.
Yeah.
Which is not the best view from there to be able to see what you have to go up. But this part here, it's all exposed. It's got the classic bright kind of like pined, exposed plantation voids.
Yeah.
Which like are good and bad. I kind of love them because it makes it feel real European and like the it gives you that whole high mountain feel, doesn't it?
Definitely.
The exposure, and it's kind of really great for running. Takes you all the way up to Clearspot.
So you're back at Clearspot aid station.
Hard climb. So in total, that's probably like from the valley up to Clearspot. I think it's about 800 meter climb because there's a bit of downhill in there as well. So it's pretty hard. And it's probably over about, I think it was like 7K almost.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty rough climb.
Solid.
Takes you to Clearspot, which is cool.
Beautiful Clearspot. Aid station at just on 89K, but basically 90K. So you've got
pretty
like
much 90K. 10K.
So you've got like 10K to go.
Just over.
Or 12K to go,
yeah. Good spot to refuel because the next leg is, it's probably late and it's hard as well. So definitely want to take time at Clearspot aid station on the way back.
Yeah, it's not an easy 10K to go. Not an easy 10K to go.
Pretty rough. I mean, if anyone's done mixed track, they'll know how hard it is.
Do you have a story about Mick from mixed track or
Mick? Who's Mick?
I've heard he's a local apparently.
I heard that you live with Mick actually.
I've heard about Mick. Never seen him.
Mick, look, he was the original Buffalo Stampede course designer, I think. That's what he says. Legend of the sport. He'll tell you a lot about what he's done, actually, if you ever want to ask. But
legend. Yeah,
he's got plenty of stories that I've heard more than once, and he's a very good runner. Lived around here for a while, and he wanted a short. I think the original race director wanted a hard way from getting from Mystic to Clearspot, and Mick told him about his little shortcut that he's got. Which I think Mick's one of the only people I know who would have genuinely thought this was a good idea to recommend this trail.
So we don't do this on the way out. We only do mixed track on the way back.
Yeah, he's got a habit of like running trails and then saying that they're quite good, like quite runnable and fun. And they're really not. Yeah, they're like quite.
They're not really trails, are they?
No, a lot of the time there's genuinely no trail.
So we get to experience that.
Yeah, but just before that, there is a new way of getting to mixed track from Clearspot. We took out the really steep Clearspot descent down into Baker's Gully, and like the main reason was it's just really, really hard to run down. Like it's kind of dangerous, I think. in spots. I actually fell over big time. It's the first time I ran Buffalo Stampede 20K. And I had some serious bruises. You asked my parents, mate. I was pretty cut up. It's actually, pretty dangerous. I full Superman'd it, like probably 5-10 meters. And I just think it's not what you want to be doing. It's not enjoyable at that stage of 100K. And there's actually a really good, fun, local sort of downhill that I thought would be cool to include into the race, and that's middle track. So we kind of go up to Eagle Peak from Clearspot again, and then around to middle track, and then down middle track, which is, I think it's technically like an old moto trail, which is turned into a bit of a trail runner's trail. And yeah, it's just a cool, fun trail. It follows the ridgeline down into Baker's Gully, and then I think most people enjoy that, even though it's probably going to be a bit late. It's, I don't know, it's just some bit of a different kind of trail to what's in the race. It's something new. And then it pops you out in Baker's Gully. And then, you got mixed track. You got to go up very steep climb. I think it's probably the steepest climb in the area. It's probably wouldn't be a trail if it wasn't for the race. I don't think anyone would have used it, but
Never.
because it's in the race, it's quite well known, very steep. And we've left it in the race because it's famous, well known, and you don't go down it. I think the problem with mixed track is going down mixed track.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now runners will only go up mixed track, and that's kind of fun. It's a bit of bit of mountaineering, bit of hands on knees stuff, hands on ground.
So
do your beta workout.
Go
put your hands.
Go suss it out.
And that takes you up to Mystic, which is just like a very pleasant spot to sit and enjoy.
Yeah.
Wherever you are at that stage of the race.
And it pops you out at a little aid station, 96K.
New aid station. Nothing's ever been an aid station up there except for in the 10K race. So
there's a cheeky little aid station, 96.5K.
Yeah.
And
pretty
then
much 5K to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. From there, and
all downhill.
All downhill. Yeah, it's hard enough. You go down to Emily's Spur, very famous trail for every trail runner here in Bright. It's probably the most run trail, I reckon.
Wow.
Very commonly used trail from Mystic to Mystic, the mountain bike park trailhead. Just a bit of a classic ridge line, and we take you down that. That's always been in the course, so most people will know it. And then and it's a hard enough downhill at that stage of the race. It's pretty steep.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you lose? How much elevation in that? 500?
Nah, it's 450, and it's not too long.
Sweet.
So it's pretty steep. It'll challenge tired legs for sure. Yeah. But you're pretty close to home there, so every time I've run down there in a race, you're just close to home, so you feel like you can get it done.
You just gotta let it rip.
You just gotta let it rip.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
And then you've got that, what is it, 3K on the flat?
Flat into town.
Happy days.
Yeah, it goes on a bit, that last river section, but those are beautiful trails through there. Love them. Use them a lot in training. Beautiful river trails back into town. So yeah, and I think you got to enjoy that bit because it's the last bit of your Bright Ultra experience, isn't it?
Far out.
You pretty much get to the finish and you're like, I wish it wasn't over.
I'm pretty sure it's around that part where sometimes the meaning of life will pop out.
You always get a little bit teary with 1K to go, don't you? You're like, oh my God.
Hysterical.
There's all that crew waiting for you to finish.
Hysterical.
You're
fans.
So thankful.
Joe's fans are there.
So thankful for everyone
Joe's fans are
helped
there
you along the way, and I love it.
So Joe, that right there, mate, you've just popped us through the.
We've run it. We've done it. Stuff.
popped us through the bright, beautiful, brand new 100K Ultra. Within all of that, mate, what would you say out of all of this, mate? What would you say is just your favorite part? And what would you say is the crux of this race?
Ooh, cool. Yeah, nice. Well, I would say my favorite part is just that road out to the Horn. It's runnable while it's flat, but then it's steep, but it's just the beauty of the area, no doubt. Like, you'll be passing other runners at that stage. Probably the only stretch of this race where you will actually see your competitors as well. And I love that. I love that about races, when you get to see the other runners passing you. Every sort of out and back stretch in a race where that happens is just fun. You get to high five or whatever.
Do you say something to every runner?
Yeah, everyone says something to everyone.
Have to. It's like the rules.
Yeah, you got to change it up each time as well.
Yeah.
So it gets hard towards the end. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I need some more encouraging
Yeah,
thoughts.
like snake ahead.
The only person you don't talk to is the person on your heels.
Oh, no, you got to, I mean,
You got to look like you're not trying at all. But yeah, I love that stretch. Beautiful area, beautiful scenery. Like, just Mount Buffalo is so unique, and there's nothing else like it in maybe the world. Like, it's just super, like nothing else I've ever been up. And that landscape towards the Horn is like, how would you describe it? I don't even know. It's like the moon.
It's so unique. It's so unique. The rock boulders, I don't even know what they're called, but there's just so many of them, and you just know it's old, ancient, special land. Like, it's you can get a sense of that when you're up there. So it's sick that it's part of the race. It's so good.
Yeah. All right. The crux.
And the crux. What's the crux of this race, mate? If you're going to do it, it's your, even it's your first 100K.
Yeah.
You give it a crack. What are you gonna pay super attention to?
Oh, look, I'm honestly gonna go back to just that stretch down the big walk. I think you got to enjoy that. It's something that can make or break your race, because it's a long way to go still. And like, you can just float down there and enjoy it, and you'll have a good race. If you push too hard, your race is over. You got such a hard way to go still. Places to push hard and maybe make your race would be, if you've got good legs, I think you've got to, from the Buckland Valley up to Clearspot, in a 100K race, at that stage of the race, I reckon you can make up huge amount of time on someone who's potentially cooked themselves. So if you're racing someone close to you, or you're racing your own personal time or expectations in future years, I think you can make up a lot of time on that section of the course if you're feeling strong. So Buckland Valley up to Wallaby Hill over to Clearspot. Yeah, like, it's hard, and if you're feeling good, you could pump that out in, I reckon you could get it done, pretty quick. But you can add on, half an hour if you're not feeling good. So that's a pretty important point of the race to be fresh for. And I think you've got to hit that hard no matter what kind of run you're doing, because if you don't hit it hard, it'll take you a really long time.
Well, mate, I think that is an epic look at the course, which I'm very grateful for you to help the crew out in putting that together. It's a course profile. You find it on the website. There's a lot of mandatory gear here. There's going to be good weather and bad weather mandatory gear. It's going to be good weather. You can see in this photo that is going up. That's going up Snake Ridge.
Look at that couple. Amazing.
That's so that's on the 100K course, Snake Ridge, and that's why Joe said if you get to Wallaby Hill and Snake Ridge at sunset, you can see there that's the
that's where you want to be on at sunset,
setting over Mount Buffalo, 100%. So check out the website for mandatory gear. You will need to carry that because safety first, and then obviously there's a lot that needs to be considered when you're doing a 100K run. This is something Joe put together for us a little bit earlier on. But if you,
That's not true at all.
it is true. And so this is what Joe reckons is that you got to have a bit of fitness, a bit of mental capacity. You got to eat, you got to have the right equipment, you got to study, you got to look at the books, you got to understand, you got to watch this video like 5 times. And then you got to make sure if you need a rest, you have a bit of rest, and you got to have a lot of heart and a lot of fire in the belly to do this 100K. But Joe's going to probably join us again a little bit later on and run us through a few more of these kind of intricacies about ultra running. So, pretty much that would be it for now. You can obviously go to the website, check out all the info, or you can contact the crew at SingleTrack at hello@singletrack.com.au. Joseph, you got any? What else you got for us, mate? Anything else?
Oh, I thought we did a good job.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
That's about it. If you need to know anything more, go check out the website. Joe, thanks so much for joining me, and thank you for sharing me a new one when we did the ultra. Thanks to Bright Brewery for hosting us.
Making us some dinner now.
Hopefully, or we'll just have to drink all these things.
Yeah.
All these things here. That's it for now, folks. Thanks a lot. I hope you are doing well wherever you are, lockdown or not. And what did say hi to your mum for us?
Yeah, that's it. Hi, everyone. Hi, Andy. Hi, Mick.
You're saying goodbye, mate.
Hey, Mick. Hey, Blake.
Hey, Mick. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Bye.
Oh, it's a bit awkward. No, we're not done. Wait, I'm just going to stop.
Done now?
Yeah, we're done now.